Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki durlabho manasho deho dehinam shanabhangurai tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshinah namami damodara pada pankajam karomi damodara pujanam sada vadami damodara nama nirmalam Smarami Damodar Leela Sundaram. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. So, we are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 23. This is the second last chapter in Canto 9, and as we were talking last time, we are gradually moving toward the descent of Lord Krishna, who was in the dynasty of Yayati, or to be more specific, Yadu, who was one of the sons, or the eldest of the sons. So in this chapter, we're talking about the four other sons of Yayati, and we discuss about the Anu's lineage. So we'll continue from text number 6 onwards. That's the point where we stopped or paused last time. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chakru swaramna vishayan sat iman prajakamschate khala pano nigato jagye tasmad divirathastataha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The 6 sons headed by Anga later became kings of 6 states in the eastern side of India. These states were known according to the names of their respective kings. From Anga came a son named Kalpana, and from Kalpana came Diviratha. Okay. So this is about Anu's lineage, and in those there were other personality like Dirghatama, and the wife of Bali gave birth to Anga. And the 6 states, actually, not sure if they were in the previous verse. Yeah, so yes, we talk about this. So the 6 states, Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Sumha, Pundra, and Udra. The eastern side, these states were named after these six kings towards the eastern side of India. Udra or Oda Desha, it's probably the Odisha area. It falls towards the eastern India side, and the other state also. They are Pundra, Sumha. So in Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta it's also called Oda Desha. So probably coming from this king. Oda Desha means Gauda Desha, Gaudiya. Oda Desha is Odisha. Okay, so we'll read the next verse. Would someone like to read? Sudhir Prabhu, you want to start? Vaswati Mataji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. Shuta dharma ratho yasya jay jajni chitra ratho prajaha Roma pada iti khayatas tasmai dasaratha sakaha santam swakanyam prayachat Rishaya Sringa Uvahayam Deve Varsati Yam Rama Aninyur Harina Sutam. I think, yeah. Natya Sangita Vaditre Vibramalinga Narahana Nai Satu Rajno Napatayasya Nirupayastim Marudvate Prajam Adat Dasaratho Yena Leve Prajaha Chaturango Ramapadat Prithu Lakshashtu Tatshutaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. From Diviratha came a son named Dharmaratha, and his son was Chitraratha, who was celebrated as Romapada. Romapada, however, was without issue, and therefore his friend Maharaja Dasharatha gave him his own daughter named Shanta. Romapada accepted her as his daughter, and thereafter she married Rishyasringa. When the demigods from the heavenly planets fell to shower rain, Rishyasringa was appointed the priest for performing a sacrifice. After being brought from the forest by the allurement of prostitutes who danced, staged theatrical performances accompanied by music, and embraced and worshipped him. After Rishyasringa came, the rain fell. Therefore, Rishyasringa performed a son-giving sacrifice on behalf of Maharaja Dasharatha, who had no issue, and then Maharaja Dasharatha had sons. From Romapada, by the mercy of Rishyasringa, Chaturanga was born, and from Chaturanga came Prithu Laksha. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading. So, the story comes in the Mahabharata also, in great detail. So, if you have read this about Rishyasringa, Romapada, anyone remembers these names? Sound familiar? Shanta. Of course, Dashrath Maharaj we all know, right? The father of Lord Ram. So just to briefly share, Romapad Maharaj was friends with Dashrath Maharaj, and they were good friends. So before Dashrath Maharaj had the 4 children, Ram, Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrugna, he had a daughter named Shanta, as mentioned in this verse. And Rishyasringa, so the Shanta, the daughter, was given to his friend named Romapad. Like he adopted basically, or was raised. Shanta was raised by Romapad Maharaj. That's because Dashrath Maharaj, his friend, gave him because Prabhupada Maharaj did not have any children. And in the also, parallelly in the kingdom of Prabhupada Maharaj, there was no rain because of celestial arrangement. This verse states that demigods from the heavenly planets failed to shower the rain. So there were some past details that somehow the rains were not happening. So what was the outcome? How will the rains come? So the thing was that if someone who has never seen the face of a woman, if that person will do yajna, then the rains will come. That means that level of purity. Now, can there be anyone in the world who has never seen the face of a woman? Because we're born from the woman. We're all born from our mothers, right? So there is a long story. I forgot about the reason, like who were the actual parents of this Rishi Shringa, but somehow this Rishi Shringa was raised in the forest by his. I'll have to read a little more, but he was raised only by his father, who was so somehow so a deer gave birth to. I have to go back and read a little more about it. So the seed was given to a deer, and then the deer was in the ashram of this Rishi Shringa's father, whose name I'm forgetting at this point. So somehow the deer gave birth to this child, like similar to Karna, the cow gave birth to a human who had that ears like a cow, Karna. That's how. So quite similar way. This deer gave birth to this child who was human-like, but he had never seen a female human, and this was outside the ashram of this saint whose name I don't recall at this point, who raised this, and since he was born from the deer, so this name was given Rishi Shringa. So Rishi Shringa was raised by his father in a very austere environment, and his father said, "I will make him a very staunch brahmachari, so that he will never, see the face of a woman. What to speak of, So there's no question of getting polluted, because he will not even get entangled with to a very far distance. There won't be any." Anything in connection to opposite sex. So, and everyone knew that, and dare not anyone come in that area, otherwise this Rishi will give a curse to that person who enters in this area where Rishi Shringa was raised. So basically like one student Gurukul, Rishi Shringa and his father, who was not only his not his blood father, but he was raised by this person. So, and at this and the other side, there was drought in the kingdom of Prabhupada Maharaj. There were no rains, and we all know rains are very important for our sustenance. So the great sages mention how will the rains come? He says, well, if somehow Rishi Shringa, who is a very Pakka brahmachari and a very strong devotee, if he does the yajna for you, then the rains will come. Now the question is, how will Rishi Shringa come? They don't associate with women. His father won't allow to come outside that area. So few ladies, here the word is used as who were dancing, staged theatrical performances accompanied by music, and embraced and worshipped him. So basically these ladies whose job is to serve the king in different capacities. So they said, well, we are ready to give up, even if it means death for us, we are ready to do it for the sake of the kingdom. And we are anyways not noble in our character. Even if it means losing our life, we are fine with that. So they dressed as saints, because if anyone sees them that they are ladies, then they'll be kind of burnt from a distance. But if somehow they disguise as sages, like in saffron robes and jata jute, and they bound their hair, and they also carried very nice prasadam, because Rishi Shringa was raised in a very austere environment with not malai paneer and gulab jamun, samosa. These were very out of the question. He was raised in very simple roots and shoots and herbs and flowers and fruits, etc. But these ladies, dressed as the saints, carry lot of nice opulent bhoga prasadam items also. So maybe they can allure by good food, especially if someone is just only eating neem and karela, and then after a long time he eats gulab jamun and samosa, they'll be ill. So this father was out, and the ladies, or disguised as rishis, thought that's a good time to talk to Rishi Shringa. And then they started talking, and they started, giving them nice foodstuffs. And then he said, "Well, why don't you come to our kingdom?" That was the main purpose, to bring Rishi Shringa. And it is mentioned that somehow Rishi Shringa came. He thought he's going to be with sages, right? Because he had practically not seen women. So there was no question of male, female for him. So he was like foreign to the word of opposite sex, because he had not seen opposite sex until this point. All he knew was his father and sages in the ashrama. So Rishi Shringa came, and at that time rain fell. After Rishi Shringa came, the rain fell. So there's only one line, but this is the background in Ramayana is mentioned. And thereafter, he married Shanta as well. And he was the one who performed the yajna for whom? Anyone? We just read Dashrath Maharaj. And then the 4 sons came. And then Maharaj did Dashrath. So this is the story of Rishi Shringa, Ramapada, and Maharaj Dashrath. Any comments, additions? Okay. Looks like something is clear. Yes, we'll read the next verse. Vikant Prabhu, you want to read? Okay, Lakshay.
Yes, Prabhu. Bread karma brahad banuscha tatsita adyar brahmanastasmad jayadrata udarta. Translation: The sons of Prutulashka were Bradrata, Bradkarma, and Bradbanu. From the eldest Brahadrata came a son named Brahanmana. And from Brahanmana came a son named Jayadrata. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Lakshay Prabhu. So we are talking about whose subsequent generations here? Who's the main personality in this? Ramapad, right? So Ramapad's had further children, Chaturanga, Prithu, Laksha, and then these were the sons of Prithu, Laksha. How to write Pisa? I think yesterday, or sorry, a few days back, Nandini Mataji was asking a question about or not a question, but just like an open discussion. Here we see the same, like the eldest, Brihadratha. This is all Kshatriya family, kingly Rajrishi family from Romapad, Yayati, and Anga, etc. But the son named Brihanmana. Okay, sorry, I misread. I read as Brahmana. Sorry. Brihanmana. And from Brihanmana came Jayadratha. Anyone remembers Jayadratha? We heard Jayadratha?
Yes, Prabhuji. In Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, right, Prabhuji?
In Mahabharata. So it's yes, probably. Do you know anything about Jayadratha, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I think Jayadratha also once, I heard that kidnapped Draupadi. It was a pastime, right, Prabhuji? I'm not sure if you are.
Jayadratha married Dushala?
Yes, he married Dushala, who was the
Ravan. I mean, Duryodhana.
Yeah, this the sister of Kauravas. Okay. So it is not 100% sure that this Jayadratha was the same as what in Mahabharata, but perhaps it will get clear as we read further, because we are getting closer to that from. See, Ramapal was in the Ramayana time. As the generations are moving, and we are getting closer to the Mahabharata phase, because the Yuga is changing from Treta to Dwapara. Now, as we know that it's not that like in here in Kali Yuga, the average lifetime is about 75, maybe 80 years at max. So average. But in the previous day, some things ruled for 100 years, some 1,000 years, some 10,000 years, some 100,000 years. So it's kind of very hard to do that chronological order also. But Romapada was friends with Dashratha. We certainly read that, and Dashrath gave his daughter. So now we are in the Chandra Vamsha. Dashrath Maharaj is in the Surya Vamsha. So let's see what happens further. Text 12. Yes, Vijaya Mataji, you want to read?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Text 12. Vijayastasya sambhutyam tato dhutirajayat tato dhrutavratastasya satkarma dhira thastataha. Translation. The son of the Jayadratha by the womb of his wife Sambhuti was Vijaya, and from Vijaya Dharti was born. From Dharti came Dhartivrata, from Dhartivrata Satkarma, and from Satkarma Adhiratha. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Back to you, Prabhu.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much. So from this, it certainly appears that this Jayadratha is not the Mahabharata Jayadratha. Why? Because there are like practically 6 generations. So this Adhiratha was the one who raised, which is going to come in the next verse, Karna. So basically we can say they were like Adhiratha's child, Karna. And Karna was equivalent at the level of same time as Pandavas. So that Jayadratha who kidnapped Draupadi was also in the same phase, little old, little less. They're not going in very specific, but certainly not like 7 generations different, right? So from this we can understand.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Devaki
Yes,
Mataji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tender Pranam. Jayadratha is not that powerful general in the war, Kurukshetra war, no? So we are still in that Chandravansh, no? Dynasty, no?
That's correct. But what I was mentioning, that he was kind of counterpart to Pandavas or Kauravas, similar.
Yes.
But here we see that how many generations? Vijaya, Dhriti, Dhritavrata, Satkarma, Adhiratha. So 6 generations difference is there. So
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
So that was the rationale behind that. But as we said, these people are not, they don't follow the typical thing. So it could be. So let's not speculate or even go in. If it is not, to us, it does not make much difference anyways. But our point is to remember Krishna and the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Adhiratha means Karna's father, you said, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, this is going to come. Yeah, it's going to come here.
But we also heard that Karna was like, chariot driver's son, right, Prabhuji? So that's the same Adhiratha, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, let's read this and then we'll discuss.
Thank you.
Vipul Prabhu can read this one. Text 13.
Hare everybody, Dhamma Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 13. Iyo sao Ganga tate kridan manju shanto gatyam shishum kuntiyapa viddam kaninam anapayoto akkarat shutam. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Vijay. While playing on the bank of Ganges, Adhiratha found a baby wrapped up in a basket. The baby had been led by Kunti because he was born before she was married. Because Adhiratha had no sons, he raised this baby as his own. This son was later known as Karna. So here we know how Karna is born by the mother Ganges, by the Kunti, and before she got married, and by the boon she got from the which Muni Maharaj? Which Muni?
Sun God, right? Sun God, right?
The Sun God, but it was the boon given by
Durvasa Muni.
Durvasa Muni. Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. So Kunti Maharani, the princess in the kingdom of Kunti Bhoja. Right? So she was serving the great rishis like Maharaj Durvasa very nicely. And then Durvasa Muni, being the incarnation of Lord Shiva, Ashutosh, was very pleased upon her and gave her this boon that you can call the demigods. If you want a powerful progeny from them, you can call and they will bless you with a child. And she was, some mantras were given, and she was like not sure whether this is really going to work or not. So in playful nature, she was a girl. She was not even marriageable age at that time. She was not married certainly. So she was very pure and chaste and unmarried. And she thought, let me try. Let me try this mantra and call Sun God. Sun God came and said, okay, I'll give you a child. And then she said, child? Now, I'm not married and I'm not from Kali Yuga. So you can't have child without the marriage. Right? So Sun God said that, well, anyways, I have come and you will still not lose your chastity. So Sun God gave the child, Karna, and he was the eldest of Kunti's son. But Kunti Maharani could not tell this to anyone. So she wrapped baby in the basket and left in the banks of Ganga. And this son was found by Adhiratha, as we are reading in this verse. He was born with Kavacha and Kundala. And there's a previous story also that he was one of the Rakshasa whose 999 Kavach Kundals were killed and then one was left, and then Sudhirpa wants to share.
Sahasra Kavacha, right, Prabhuji?
Sahasra Kavacha, Sahasra is 1,000. So 999 were killed, one was left, and in this lifetime, that was also destroyed, and he was later killed by Arjuna. Unfortunately, a lot of people think Karna was a great hero, or think Karna was the real hero, and Arjuna and Krishna were like cheaters. A lot of people, in fact, these days, I was hearing a video, even the NCRT books in schools, colleges, they're reading that, oh, Rama and Sita, they were like bad people. Ravana was the real hero. The books are changing, the culture is changing. People are saying, why are you burning Ravana? He's our hero. What harm did Ravana do? Right? He liked a girl and he kidnapped and then he wanted to marry. What's wrong? Right? Ministers are saying, I will do that. And that's what is happening. Because everyone, the Ram Rajya is gone. The population, the percentage of population who think in that direction or try to be God conscious is very far and very, very, very insignificant. And everyone is like Ravana mentality. Therefore, the heroes are changing. So the heroes are Karna, the heroes are Kauravas, the heroes are Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, Ravana. It's very sad. And then those people write books. Those people make videos, because nowadays anyone can write a book, anyone can write an article, anyone can make a video and publish it as if that they know everything, and that's what Ramayana says, that's what Valmiki ji is saying. And the education system is also very corrupted. The NCRT curriculum, just I want to bring across attention that this is also very, very kind of concerning. What is being fed to the minds of innocent children? Because not every parent will even, bother to ask every day, what did you study in school in this period, in that period? There's no time, right? To ask in that, and neither they will open their books. What are they studying? Maybe once in a blue moon, how are you doing? What are you learning in math? So it's quite concerning. And so therefore, this shows that how much there is a greater need for all of us and all of the human society to first equip ourselves with proper knowledge of the scriptures, and then to distribute those in great number, in great quantity to the masses around, so that the real bona fide scriptures can be shared and the real heroes, Krishna, Rama, Arjuna, Yudhishthira, can be brought to their true glory by the holy scriptures. So, any other comments anyone has?
So in the previous life, Naranarayana, right, Prabhuji, who did tapasya and killed 999 times, and Lord Shiva comes and pleads Lord Krishna. And I also heard, Prabhuji, this Naranarayan are none other than Krishna and Arjuna, who comes again in this yuga to complete the 1,000, as you said. Right,
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. So nice. Okay, so I think we'll kind of take a pause here because now the first sons we already discussed. The last one is discussed. Now the other three sons, the second and the third sons dynasty will be discussed. Puru we discussed, and then after Puru was in the previous chapter. We discussed the fourth son from text 1 to 13, which was Anu, Yayati's fourth son. So the second and the third we will discuss, and review the first one also tomorrow. So we'll do that. Anyone has any comments, questions, or additions, or anything you want to ask, tell? Akshay has learned a new verse. Want to recite that and share with everyone?
Which was Prabhuji?
The one which we discussed today. You forgot you have to share with 10 people.
Nimamitamodu?
Yes.
I haven't learned it
Okay.
memory.
Take your time, no worries. Okay, so it's actually 8:30. Somehow I thought it's 8:38. Yeah. My eyes are. Maybe anyone can share about Damodar program. So I know about the Tampa devotees. Gandhi, Prabhu, so good to see you. You join every day, pretty much every day. You want to say a few things, or what inspires you to join every day? And what's you're like a silent spectator, or you're doing Shravanam so humbly, silently, and giving your association? To say something, Prabhu? How's your experience, or okay, maybe it's busy.
Yeah, Prabhuji joins every day. Prabhuji. Sometimes we do chat sometimes, but Prabhuji, even not only this, Prabhuji also joins Prema Sindhu Prabhu's classes also regularly. Very sincere.
Okay, we have maybe 10 more minutes, so we'll read the 50 important verses of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we are here. Who all want to read? Raise your hands. I can divide those verses equally, and you all can do. Okay. So maybe remember your verses. Okay. Remember now which verse you have to. Okay, I'll just call out. It'll be easier. So I'll start, and we have 5 devotees wanting to read. So Akshay Prabhu, Dear Prabhu, Tripur Prabhu, and Devaki Mataji, you can read. Start with maybe Sudhir Prabhu, and then Vipul Prabhu, Lakshay Prabhu, and then Devaki Mataji. Then, if anyone is still left out, can read the last. Yes, Prabhu, please read these wonderful verses. 1 page each.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. 50 more most important verses of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhuji, with the translation or without translation?
Yeah, just the words.
Just the verse, okay. Dharmakshetra Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsava Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimma Kuruvata Sanjaya Karpanya Dosho Pahata Svabhava Prachami Tvam Dharma Sammoda Cheta Yashreya Nischitram Rohitan Me Shishya Steham Chadimam Tvam Prapannam Dehinosmin Yata Dehe Kaumaram Yavvanam Jara तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मोह्यते मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदा आगमापानो नित्या स्वां तदीक्षस्व भारत न जायते मृते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भवितवान् भूयः अजो नित्यो शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे 2.40 नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पम् अप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् 2.41 व्यवसात्मिका बुद्धिरेके हि कुरुनन्दन बहुशाखा हि अनन्तस्य बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिनां 2.59 विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते 2.62 and 63 ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसा संगास्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामा कामा क्रोधाभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिविभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
यज्ञ शीताश्लिनो शांतो बुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषय बुध्यन्ते तेव अगम पापा जे पश्यन्ति आत्मकारणात् प्रकृति क्रियमाणानि गुणाय कर्मणि सर्वश अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते एवं प्राप्तम् इमं राजस्य विदु सकालेन महता जगो नष्ट परं तपो यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजामि अहं परित्राणाय साधनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि जुगे जुगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं जीवति तत्तत् त्यक्त देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामिति सोऽर्जुन जे यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजामि अहं मामो वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वश तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन प्रणिपश्येन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिना विद्या विनय सम्पन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनिचैव सपाके च पंडित समदर्शिनो जे हि संस्पर्श ज भोग दुःख जन एव ते आदि अंतवंत कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुध भोक्तारं जगत तपसां सर्वलोक महेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां गात्तमं शान्तिमिच्छति. हरे कृष्ण.
Should I read Prabhuji? Bandhu Atman Manastasya Yenat Maiva Manajita Anatmanastu Shatrutve Vati Tatmaiva Shatruvat Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashyan Yatati Siddhaye Yatataamapi Siddhanam Kashyan Mamveti Tatvata Madapayataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Prota Sutre Maniganaiva Daivihi Esa Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite Antikale Cha Mameva Smaran Muktva Kale Padam Ya Prayati Samadbhavam Yati Nasya Samshaya Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tyajate Antikale Padam Tam Tameva Iti Konteya Sadatad Bhava Bhavita Vedeshu Yamneshu Tapeshu Chaiva Daneshu Yad Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyati Tat Sarvamidam Viditva Yogi Param Sthanam Upaiti Charyam Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshava Gamam Dhamyam Sushukam Kartum Abhyayam Avajananti Mamuda Manusham Tanum Ashritam Parambhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram Mahatmanastu Mam Pata Divim Prakritam Ashrita Bhajanti Ananyad Manasho Nadva Bhuta Dimavyayam. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Devaki Mataji.
Yes, okay. Hare Krishna, Dana Pranam. Anyasya chintayantu mam ye jana pariyupipasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam pahami aham patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktiya prayachati tadaham bhakti parhartam asnami prayata tatmanaha yat karoshi yat asnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapashyasi tapashkanteya tat kurushva mat arpanam aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti madhva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samarvitaha Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha tesham eva nukampartam aham agyana gyam tamaha nasayami atma bhavastu jnana dipena bhavasvata yad vibhuti mat swaptam Śrīmad urjitam eva va tad eva gachat chatvam mama tejusmamsa sambhavam sarvayonishu kanteya murtaya sambhavantiya dasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita mam chayog vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevati sagunaha samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate nirmana mohajita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivrita kama dvandve vimukta sukha dukkha samjane gachanti amuda padam avyayam tat mameva swaso jiva loke jiva buddha sanatanaha manhasastani triyani prakriti sthani kasati. Hare Krishna.
Maswati.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mattaha smritirganam apahanam cha vedasya sarveraham iva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham yaha shastra videm utsrajya vartate kama karataha nasha siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim bhaktya mam avijanati yavan chashmi tadvatah tato mam tadvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram isvara sarvabhutanam hridideshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya manmana bhava madbhakto madyeji namaskuru mam evaisai satyam te prati jnane priyasami sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja aham tyam sarva papebhyo mokshai shami ma suchaha yatra yogeshwara krishna yatra partha dhanurdharaha tatra shrir vijayo bhuti dhruva nitirmatir mama.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Rama wants to read. You go.
Yes, Prabhuji. He wants to
read 10:10. Read.
Okay, 10:10.
Tesham satata yuktanam vajutam priti purvakam nadami buddhi yogam tam ena mamupayantite.
Good. What's your favorite verse? From Bhagavad Gita.
is Karpanya Dosha Bhagavata Svabhava.
Yeah.
Karpanya Dosha Bhagavata Svabhava Rachami Tandana Samudha Cheta Natresham Nishtitam Bruhitam Me Shishyasteham Sari Mam Pram Prapanyam.
Can you tell the meaning?
Excellent.
Tell the meaning to Prabhuji. Karpanya dosha.
I
Now,
sent you hearts.
Prabhuji, it's hard to you.
now I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of my weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell what is the best for me. Now I'm your servant and your soul surrender. I surrender unto you.
Hari Bo. That's excellent. Why is it your favorite verse?
Because I feel like that's the starting of Bhagavad Gita. It's going to start Bhagavad Gita in the next. He's going to start, Lord Krishna is going to start Bhagavad Gita in the next shloka. So I feel like that's my favorite shloka to introduce.
Excellent. Rama Prabhu.
Thank
What
you.
do we learn from this verse?
That you need to ask Krishna if you need to surrender unto Krishna if you're in any problems or anything.
Wow, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing such a nice verse and nice lesson. So this completes our 50 verse reading. Thank you to all the devotees for so nicely reading. We'll pause here and continue with the next verse tomorrow. Canto Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrī Caitanya Mas ki jai, Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Sarvete Gaurav ki jai, Dāmotam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.